What's the word, everybody? It's your boy Lasco Bills, represent Fan of the Money, and you tuned in to the Bar Exam right here on Ethos Network.
Yo, what up? What up? What up, everybody? It's the end of the year. It's end of 2024. You just saw, an amazing college football feat. That's why I got the hoodie on. Heisman, Travis Hunter. But that's not why y'all here. Y'all here because y'all want to hear the top 10 songs of what my list was for 2024. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on this. This is going to go really quick. You got to get into number 10 right now. Like, we just got to jump into it. If you are not a fan of Big S the Plug, first of all, you have to become a fan of his music. He's the text, I'm gonna say Boss Man D-Lo is the Florida mid version of what Big S the Plug is. That's how I want you to really think about Big S the Plug. But he sampled the Isley Brothers for this one. And not only does the beat hit, and it hit so hard, the whole concept of how he flipped the song because of what we know from Mr. Big and the Isleys, and it's on my list. It's on my Apple Music playlist right now. It's going heavy. That's why he's my gatekeeper. That's why I use him intentionally as number 10, because that's getting played constantly. So, number 9, hey, people are gonna say that this dude snitched. I didn't know he snitched. Help Me was the first introduction that I saw. So it was new to me. I don't know his street ties. I don't know. I just know the song is getting played immensely. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my kids' favorites, so it's one that I listen to on shit, damn near everything. And it's because you can create a playlist. So him and his genre of artistry and artist, or art, not in his label, but just what the algorithm throws at me, good radio station to have. Number 9, Help Me, because that's what I'll be riding to work to. So now, a lot of people are going to say, Kendrick Lamar. Why do you have Kendrick Lamar on your list? Because you're going to see a theme with this 2024 list, that it's the year, what's the Asian culture when you go to the food, and they had the year, they have like, you got to find your birthday, and then they have all the animals, and they tell you it's the year of the rat, year of this, year of that, what animal you are, because I was year of the rat, 1984. This is the year of Kendrick. Year of Kendrick. If you don't have Kendrick on any list, you're a hater. Kendrick had an undeniable year. TV Off with the mustard drop is probably viral in 6 weeks what songs take years to do. And it's not, and it's only up from here. It's not going anywhere. I don't feel like Kendrick can be knocked off any pedestal. And in a strange, weird way, Kendrick is talking as heavy as J. Cole was talking. So, you know, I don't know who won't smoke with Kendrick, or who, you know, we had the little what you want to call it, situation or anticipated with Lil Wayne, and then the internet defeated Lil Wayne before Lil Wayne could even really respond with bars. So it I don't necessarily know. I'm not saying Lil Wayne is not lyrically better than Kendrick, but I don't want to see Lil Wayne in a battle with Kendrick either. Not I don't think that's good for the culture. I don't want to see that. I don't think there's anything to gain from that. So Kendrick, TV Off. I mean, you have to. 21 Savage, like, I just like saying 21, 21. I think 21 is one of those artists that you have to have on your list because he stays relevant. You know, he stays in his lane. It's a Jeezy like consistency when you have 21. So you definitely gotta have 21 on the list. So that's my next one, 21 Savage. And as president of the fan club, I could not put her at number one. I would love to put Glorilla at number one. Nothing would make my heart happier than having her as number one. But then the list would obviously be biased, and they'd be like, the comments would get destroyed. But it was the song Glorilla had a phenomenal, and I don't even know if you can call this her freshman year, because her album dropped. So it's her, everything is always new with Glow because she's a new artist. So I wouldn't call this her freshman year, but this was her first run, and she had a phenomenal first run. So yeah, Glow was everywhere. Like I said, if anytime you reach your demographic, anytime you reach outside of your demographic with the success of a single or a song or an album, I feel like that's when you know you made it, because my mama was saying yeah, Glow, and didn't know who the fuck Glorilla was. So there you go with that. Number 5 was J. Cole. And I think his legacy, his career, his momentum, everything, like he didn't lose, he didn't win, but he also wasn't where a big extra plug. Like I couldn't put Cole at 10 because I felt like that was a little bit disrespectful to Cole. So I had to put him kind of somewhere in the middle. And I couldn't say Glow had a better year than Cole, but I feel like that was I flip-flop with those two spots between Glorilla and Cole. So, Cole just kind of edged it out for me, but because like I said, I didn't want to come across too biased because I am a Glorilla fan so much, but you'll see why a little later on in the list. This is why. Number 4. Now, I ain't even asked. Shane, can you come on cam?
I ain't got my light set up like that, but what's good?
So, okay. Shane was here when I talked about Tyler, the Creator, and I was not a fan. Did not like. I want to say it was 3 weeks. We had the Tyler Creator conversation. I was like, I just don't like dude. Dude is weird. Like, I don't fuck with Tyler, the Creator. Like, I'm not a Tyler fan. Period.
Yeah.
That was 3 weeks before this fucking song dropped. Now, granted, Tyler's verse is weird as hell. It like the pronoun bar, bro. That's I'm not a fan, but this shit does go hard. And I catch myself listening to it a lot more because of who's on it, Sexy Red and Glorilla. And it's got Wayne on it too. So, but I had to put it on the list because I'm listening to the song. I can't call it nobody else's song. So Tyler made the list because he had all of my favorite people on it. So, and Sexy's also having a phenomenal year too. So, I mean, which brings me to Pound Town, because that song, I don't think Nicki did her any. I don't think Nicki made the song. The song was Nicki needed Sexy Red more than Sexy Red needed Nicki. So the version that Nicki's on doesn't really matter because Pound Town thugging with took her out of here. It got her where she is. It put her on the map. She's the hometown, even though I got the Colorado hoodie on, I'm still from St. Louis. So, the hometown, still Sexy Red. She's still crazy as shit, doing the wildest marketing I've ever seen for lip gloss, period. Or for a product, period. Like, to have a product named after sexually transmitted diseases is wild. would like that's not even a marketing concept that I would even try to even ask AI to fucking figure out. But that's just kind of where we are, you know. So shout out to Sexy Red. And next, this might be a surprise, but Future Metro Boomin Like That, you know, is the prequel to Number One. You know, I feel like Future and Metro were kind of like, you know, sending jabs or, you know, subliminal, and then Kendrick came in at the last set on the last verse and was like, he said his line, but it really wasn't a diss, but it got taken as a diss. And then it like this was the gasoline or the spark or the fire or whatever that just set Kendrick off. This was the very first domino. Without Like That, clearly there is no Number One. And Number One is Not Like Us. So you can't have one without having two. Like they go hand in hand. It's the closest tandem that we've seen in music since Trapped in the Closet was played like 1 through 5. Like we won't have anything like this again. Kendrick again had a phenomenal year. Kendrick has to be at the top of everyone's list this year. There's no statistic, analytic, image. There's nothing that you can say Kendrick didn't destroy this entire year at, because of the sheer volume of where his song, whether it was bots, who the fuck knows, it was everywhere, you know. Now granted, this was his first year like that, you know, and in comparisons, he did it by taking out Drake, who has had multiple years like this. But for Kendrick, this was his first year like this. This was, I don't want to say it's bigger than any Drake year because I don't have those statistical analysis to sit there and say that. But Kendrick getting the casual fan this year was, I'm going to say, was bigger than his song being on Billboard for 10 years or charting on Billboard for the 10 years. I'm going to say the 10-year, like the accomplishment of the Billboard, because that was his niche and that was his group. But when he went to this phenomenal, phenomenon of just global, and I know you're going to say he was global before, but he wasn't global like this, you know, no pun intended. That's just where I'm at. You know, Kendrick had a phenomenal run this year. Probably the best we've ever seen, you know, definitely the best we've ever seen since COVID, you know, and that's always my gauge, you know, the world before COVID and the world after COVID, you know, where are we at? And where we at post COVID, Kendrick is king. So that's my list this year. Hopefully, you know, y'all in the comments, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if my list is better than any of my co-hosts. But you said we all got the same number one. There you go. That's the Mr. Marcus TV. Welcome to the Bar Exam. That's my top 10 of 2024.
Yo, what up? This is Eric G with the Bar Exam at Ethos Media Network. Make sure to check out our new Reddit page and make sure to follow our Patreon at Ethos Media Network. See y'all.